The Huey Cam. Featuring the best of Lamont and Tonelli on 107.7 The Bone.
We have the pit bull of comedy with us, the one and only Bobby Slayton. Bobby, how you doing?
What's up, Bobby?
One of the few great radio shows left to do in this country. You know, there are some shows that I enjoy doing. There are so many, talking about bonehead kind of, and I don't mean that in a good way, radio shows around the country, but you know, I still go to Philadelphia, do the John DeBella show. I go to Chicago, do Mancow, who's kind of a lunatic, but he's good. And I go to certain cities, and you know, it's just good to do your show. It's a lot of fun. Which, by the way, the Pitbull of comedy, I just did a Showtime special, a 1 hour special. It's coming out, I think, in February. You know what? It's really cool. It went really well. What happened, though, when you do these Showtime HBO specials, usually you do 2 shows in an evening. That way they can take the better show. One's like a dress rehearsal. They can edit the 2 together as long as you dress alike. So you don't have the pressure of getting every joke right. With my show, it turns out when they did it, the theater was booked after me, and we can only do 1 show. So there was a lot of pressure to get it right. And the way I talk, and I talk so fast I trip over my words, is that, you know, here on radio is one thing, but when it's going to be shown forever, and you're going for that Emmy that I so deserve, you want everything to be really perfect. But here's what's funny. For years, they've called me the Pitbull of comedy. I've had this name, and you know, so my manager, I wanted to call the Showtime special something like, you know, the Pitbull Unleashed, or the Pitbull Attacks, or the Pitbull Bites Back, whatever. I think you get the theme. So my manager, my agent, the people from Showtime were saying to me, a lot of people have said this to me over the years, you should really stay away from this Pitbull thing. Because what happens is, well, I was in Vegas for a couple of years. I just quit. I'll tell you that old story. That was a train wreck. Oh, I lost all my money, but it's okay. I will survive. Oh, what a nightmare. Me and Celine Dion, we're both struggling. I see her at the unemployment line every day. But here's the thing. So I think, but everybody says to me, you know, this name, the Pitbull of comedy. What happens is people, you know, might not want to come to your show, especially in Vegas, where you have a lot of people who are not necessarily with families, or the old ladies playing bingo and Keno. But you hear the Pitbull of comedy, people are afraid you're going to attack them. You're going to be aggressive. You're going to pick up people in the front row. So they decided not to use the Pitbull of comedy for the Showtime thing. Here's my point, fellas. Pitbulls have this bad reputation, and like I just said, but we know that after that jackass Michael Vick went to prison, what did we find out about pit bulls? They took those animals, the ones that they could save and rehabilitate, you know, and these were animals that were really hardened criminals in the dog world.
Absolutely.
But they still took them, and with a little bit of love, a little bit of tenderness, shows you that pit bulls are the most loyal, wonderful dogs. But when you mess with them, when they're abused and crapped on, when they're beaten and ignored, and more about my marriage later. But what happens? Where's my rim shot? That was a long way to go for a joke. Thanks for hanging in there, fellas. I just want to see if you were following me. No, but you know what?
So there's a lot of similarities between pit bulls and comedians, is what you're trying to say.
About pit bulls and marriage, because here's the thing. This is why I should be the doctor of comedy, instead of the pit bull, because I can help people. A lot of couples should come see my show. If you go to BobbySlayton.com and see where I'm playing, and then come to my show. But here's my point, that pit bulls, you know, they're these wonderful animals, and then when they're abused, it's almost like marriage, because every guy who's listening right now who's married, any guy who's been married has heard this from his wife in one form or another. You know, you were so nice when I met you, and now you're a jackass. You were so nice when I met you, now you're an a-hole. You were so nice when I met you. Wait. So I was nice until I met you. I was nice my whole life, and now I'm a pit bull and a jackass, and you had nothing to do with this. This is all my fault. I was always nice, and now I'm an idiot. I mean, whatever. You put your own word in there. You hear this from women all the time. You're such a jackass. I hate you now. You're not like this when I met you. All right, so I was a nice guy, and then you turned me into this pit bull. You're like, you know, Michael Vick. Michael Vagina, whatever you want to
So things are going well for you at home, I take it.
Well, things, you know, it's funny. I left yesterday to fly in to do your show, and my wife, I'm getting ready to go to the airport. I'm going up to San Francisco, and I'm leaving town, and my wife says to me, you know, every time you travel, you know, you always take such nice care of yourself. You look so sexy now. You brush your hair. You put on a nice shirt. You don't look like that at home. I go, well, I'm home. She says to me, you know, if I was Megan Fox, you wouldn't walk around looking like a pig. And I said, well, you're not Megan Fox, so what is your point? I don't understand the reasoning. Where are you going with this? You're not Megan Fox. So That's why I tell you I should be a marriage counselor.
So what happened in Vegas?
Oh, Vegas.
Because last time we talked to you, you were doing the regular stint in Vegas.
Last time I saw you, well, last couple of years, but I've been coming on the show, I was at Hooters Casino for about 2 years. They were paying me a nice salary, and I was living in Vegas right on the Strip.
Right.
I think I told that to you last time. I was in Vegas 5 to 6 days out of the week. My wife was in L.A., and my marriage was great. I mean, if you guys can find a way to live in Vegas on the Strip 6 days out of the week, I go to strip clubs and play golf every day, and your wife's in L.A.
Yeah.
And then you have to go home once a week to see your dog, but you pretend you're seeing her, which I would, but she's not Megan Fox. I made that quite clear. So what happened was, when this recession, depression, economic nightmare hit our country, and I remember it was about a year ago, this past October, when things really started falling apart, at least in Vegas.
Right.
So I went on the road. I think I came in to see you guys a couple of times, and then I got a gig playing at the Tropicana. Have I seen you since I've been at the Trop?
No, I haven't seen you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so last May, it's been about 6 months ago, I went into the Tropicana.
Yeah.
The Tropicana, I got a 4-wall deal. And for people that don't know what that is, it's what most comedians on the Strip have. You got to pay your own advertising, you got to pay for your own billboards. You work out a deal with the casino where you get the door and they get the bar, whatever.
Wow. Yeah.
But without a white tiger and a puppet, Vegas is a tough nut to crack now, unless, if you're Jerry Seinfeld or Louis Black and you have shows on TV and you go in every 6 months, but when you're there all the time, even Carrot Top, George Wallace, Rita Rudner, it's tough. I mean, everybody's doing fine. But I had a producer who wasn't doing any advertising, and I got rid of this guy, got a new guy. But the Tropicana, here's a great story. Some guy bought it. And the hotel has seen it's better. I don't think it's been remodeled since it opened in 1957. When the mob was there, I swear to God, Tropicana was a great hotel. It is a dive. It is a dump. Yeah. So supposedly they're fixing it up. They're putting money into it. And the new owners said, well, I really want to make this a hip, happening new hotel. And what does he do 3 months ago? If you're talking about hip and happening, he puts in Wayne Newton. You don't get any hipper or more happening than Wayne Newton. A guy that can't even sing. His show was ripped to shreds. And I said, and when Wayne Newton came in, then Wayne Brady went in to do Let's Make a Deal. So as these shows are going in there, I see my name slowly leaving all the marquees. And when Legendary Lobster Special for 1999 went over my name, I said, I got to get out of here. You know what? Look, I have no ego about my status and my stature in show business. You know what? I'm doing well. I'm making a living. I have a nice house. Everything's fine. I'm over 50 years old. I don't care about fame and fortune. I just want to make a living telling my little jokes around the country. But when Legendary Lobster Special takes Wayne Newton, I understand. He'll be dead in a few months, so let his name go up. That is a rat's ass. But not Legendary Lobster Special.
Legendary Lobster.
I mean, it's better than buffet. Shrimp cocktail 99 cents. Thank God they don't have those there anymore. I get no marquee space whatsoever. Yeah, I'm glad you find this funny. But you got to laugh at this crap. It could be worse. I could be one of those guys walking around San Francisco, or rolling around with a pencil coming out of his head and a cat with one eye, like you see all over the place. Anyway, it's nice to see you guys, and I'm back on the road. Hopefully, the Showtime special will do everything. You know what? And I'll let it speak for itself. But I said things on that special about a lot of ethnic groups that. I put a call to Salman Rushdie to see if he has a guest room, because I can get in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I mean,
now when's that going to be on Showtime?
I think they're going to air it in February, hopefully. As a matter of fact, it's funny. It's called Born to be Bobby. That's what I called it. And I did it after those tattoos, Born to be Bad and Born to Raise Hell. So actually, on the Showtime special, we're going to tape it in advance. I'm going to put a giant tattoo on my arm. Well, my skinny little arms, basically. I'm doing a Born to be Bobby tattoo, which my wife's not happy about. She hates my ink. I have a lot of ink.
So you have a lot of ink?
This is one more thing that'll keep her away from me. My wife, the more tattoos you have, they just repel me. I go, well, if I get another tattoo, I need cloves of garlic every day until I go back on the road. I should be safe. My wife leaves the room. I get my dog, I get T-Bone. What the hell do I need her around for?
How long have you been married, Bobby?
21 years.
21 years.
Well, with a Winchell factor, 100 years. And, it's great. I mean, it's fine. It is what it is.
Well, I still call you the pit bull of comedy.
Oh, by the way, okay. We come back for another break. Am I going to stay for a little while?
You know what? Stay for one more, but you've got to, if you're staying for one more break.
Well, I don't have to.
I would like you to, but if you do,
yeah.
You've got to hit Sully with the cattle prod.
Because that's a part of the next break.
Yeah.
Oh, again?
Yeah.
Okay. You like that, don't you?
Bobby Slayton, who is playing at Tommy T's. Drop by and see him at Tommy T's, and we'll put a link on our webpage as well, all right?
Thank you.
Okay, Bobby Slayton is in the studio. Sully will get hit with the, I was going to say a stun gun.
No, it's a cattle prod.
Full-on freaking cattle prod. And I got to give the guy props who gave us the cattle prod.
Yep.
That's coming up next.
Lamont and Tonelli, weekday mornings 5 to 10 on 107.7 The Bone.